do that for us?
Father, it is a privilege to be here. We're thankful for just the gift of life, and we're thankful for the proceedings today. We trust that everything we've said and done is pleasing to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, roll call, shall we? Denise Taylor. Here. Bill England. Keith Austin.
Here.
Harley Buzzard. Bill Bird.
Amen.
Frankie Hargis. Present. Wanda Hatfield. Rex Jordan.
Here.
Dick Lay. Victoria Westbrook. David Walkingstick.
Amen.
Brian Warner.
Amen.
Okay. Mary Baker Shaw.
Ani.
And
I
yes.
want to be a member.
Oh, I want to be a member.
Okay.
And Mike Shambaugh.
Here, and I want to be here.
Okay. Mike Dobbins.
Here and yes.
And Deanna Smith.
Yes. Here, but yes, I won't be a member.
Okay. Okay, before we get started, I want to recognize Emerson Turner, a member of our Youth Tribal Council. No? Okay, I'm sorry.
Government Relations.
Intern with Government Relations. Excuse me.
Thank you. And I'll just add that he graduated from high school early at Booker T. Washington. He's spending this semester interning for us at Cherokee Nation Businesses in the Government Relations Department, and he will be going to Dartmouth in the fall.
Oh, wow. Good job.
Congrats.
Okay. Making us proud. Okay, so what I want to turn your attention to is the list that was given to you just before our ENF meeting. After much back and forth, this is what we have come up with as our proposed giving. And I want to call your attention to 8 Cherokee Nation citizens. They're on the blue page on the front, who are stepping up and running for office. They have any of these people held office before, Kim, do you know?
Not at state legislative office.
Okay. So we're going to support them and get support on
With the exception,
hopefully,
Madam Chairman, that we have 2 incumbents on this list. The first 6 are running in open seats, in the bottom 2, Colin Walkie and Mike Osborne. They are incumbents.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to open it. We'll see.
And Tom Stipes' dad, JT, was a state rep.
Okay, so I need a motion and a second to open discussion.
Motion to. Okay.
I have a motion and a second. So Kim's all ears. Anybody have any questions? Councilor
Where's
Washington?
Drew Edmondson on this?
We're waiting for primaries to occur, so we didn't engage in governor's races. So on this list, you'll just see state legislature candidates as well as congressional candidates.
Okay. So are we going to come back in the fall and do another PAC, or?
If council approves a budget in the next fiscal year, yes, we will have another PAC list.
Okay. There's another Cherokee runner for governor too. Who is that?
Kevin, no, he's
Stitt?
yeah.
Stitz. Yes.
Kevin Stites.
Yeah, Stites, whatever. Yeah, he's running he's Cherokee as well.
Yeah.
Is he Democrat or Republican?
Republican.
He's a Republican, I think. Yeah.
Okay, are there any questions about these proposed donations that we're doing? If
The only
not,
thing is, what you might do next time is maybe highlight or put a little mark there if they're tribal members, not necessarily Cherokee, but just tribal members.
We have
Most of
noted,
them are noted.
if they're Cherokee citizens or citizens of another tribe, we did note that.
Here's a Choctaw, or a Chickasaw and a Seminole. I know there was a Choctaw on here.
He wants to go small so they can see it.
And Madam Chairman, if there are no questions, then a brief explanation I'm happy to provide.
Okay, go ahead and give us a narrative since no one seems to have specific questions.
I just want to, first of all, commend this committee and also Chief Baker for building on the political giving. You know, our ties to the congressional delegation, to our legislators, have never been stronger. We have direct member level engagement. I think some of our counselors who came to DC for Cherokee Days and got to engage in meetings with us got to see that firsthand. There's a clear understanding of all of our issues. In this particular plan, we do build on last year's giving, and we give $62,000 to our own congressional delegation. We max out to Congressman Mullen, Cole, Inhofe, and Langford in their leadership PACs, as well as to the campaigns of Inhofe, Lucas, and Russell. And because we have such a big footprint with citizens in every state, as well as a Cherokee Nation businesses footprint in several states, as well as employees too, what we look at in our giving plan is who is on the committees of jurisdiction that have jurisdiction over our issues, whether it's the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs, that is Senator Langford, Appropriations, that's Congressman Cole, the Senate Armed Services Committee, that's jurisdiction over government contracting, that's Senator Inhofe, Energy and Commerce, that's Congressman Mullen, that's gaming. But beyond that, we also look to members who are outside of Oklahoma who are also proven to be great Indian champions, and we look at those too. We do have 2 candidates on the federal list that I want to draw your attention to. One is Deb Haaland, who is a former New Mexico State Party chair. If she wins this seat, she will be the first Native American woman to serve in Congress. The member she would be replacing is Michelle Lujan Grisham, who's running for governor, who is also a strong champion of Indian country too, who has, I understand, supports Deb Haaland for the seat. She's tied in the lead in the polls, and so she's calling on Indian country to support her. She is remarkable in her positions, political positions, but also in her knowledge of Indian country and some of our unique issues. The other is Sylvia Garcia, who just won her state's primary. She would replace the retiring Jean Green in that state, and she just won her party's endorsement. And so she's battling for that seat too. On the state side, similarly, we use a similar formula for determining who we give to. We definitely give to incumbents. You'll see it's pretty heavy with incumbents. But at the same time, the state legislature has about a third of the legislative body are open seats because of term limits and retiring members. So on this list, you'll see incumbents who have voted with us on either Indian arts legislation, ball and dice legislation, our housing bill that just passed, and just today we got the Native American Day bill through as well. But we have lots of issues coming up, and we have a lot of committees that have jurisdiction over our areas. And so some of those include appropriations, where ball and dice legislation went to, General Government Committee, where any compacting legislation goes through, education, that's where our housing bill went through, banking and commerce, that's where gaming goes through, again, rules, that's where Native American Day goes through. So you'll see there's a little bit more description on this that gives you some feel for what committees these members serve on. And again, they have been with us through a lot of these issues. So there are no anti-tribal candidates on this list. And so we did try to be mindful of that. We also want to draw your attention to the fact that because of term limits, we have retiring members who have been strong champions for us. Our own Chuck Hoskin and John Sparks are retiring. They are in leadership positions, and they are senior members, and we are losing them. And so that's why we have 16 candidates that have sought support from us, that have proactively engaged with us, have sat down with us and discussed and shown a strong comfort level, strong with our issues and of Indian country. And so we definitely see the value in supporting incumbents, especially those that will continue to champion our issues, who have the opportunity to rise in leadership and to remain in their office. And so with that, Madam Chairman, I'm happy to take additional questions.
If there are none, let's vote. All those in favor of this list, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, carries.
Hey,
That-
Pam, on the, which one of these people here, I was looking at the comparison of land in the trust. The former administration, they were averaging about 50,000 plus a year, okay? This administration is barely averaging 12,000. Now, these people that we're supporting here and giving money, are they all in support of us putting land in the trust?
Well, luckily, the land and trust applications are what we have to deal with in the agency level. And so I've not seen any effort congressionally to try to diminish the role of Interior to take land and trust for tribes. Now, bear in mind that, this administration did review the land and trust gaming application that is now Cherokee Springs and supported that. So we
got that done right before this new president was sworn in, though.
But because it was done 90 days before the administration was over, this new administration did review it and did agree to support it. And so
Keep us posted, because
Yeah.
that's one person, that's one group I would not support. If they're against us putting our land in the
we
trust.
have not had any legislative members in the congressional side who are on this list who are anything but advocates for us in regard to retaining and restoring our homelands.
Thank you, Kim, you and your staff, your government relations, and our group in D.C. You guys are doing a good job in keeping us updated.
I do.
Yeah.
And I appreciate, the original list we got had very little description of why, on the state side, why we were supporting them. And I questioned you, and within a couple of hours, I got some very good responses. So I appreciate that.
I
know
figured
it
you'd
takes
want
some effort.
more flavor,
Yeah.
so I added those.
I know it took some effort because I spent about 2 hours trying to figure out why we were supporting them. So appreciate that.
Hey,
Have something to say, Steve?
Speaker, does Congress, do they approve those applications, those trust applications?
What they do is you run it through, like Kim said, the agencies, but people like Tom Udall, those guys are very strong advocates of Indian tribe. They serve on those appropriate committees like Senate Committee, Indian Affairs. They don't actually stop it, but they can put a hold on it for a long time if one of them opposes. So, yeah, they do have a say-so.
And then, Counselor, also just the underlying legal authority for the agency to administratively approve those land and trust applications does originate in federal law that Congress did have to approve, and so we make sure that those laws are protected.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job, good
Any other
day.
questions or comments? Adjourned.
I do.
But I didn't try to find. I was trying to find. I think I can make 6 o'clock plan.